Hello Inkies and welcome back to another exclusive Patreon video. I hope you are well, so let's get started. Now, as you know, I am obsessed with scraps from, the sewing book thing, and I love using odds and ends to create something beautiful. Now, years and years and years ago, before I was even on YouTube, I took a class from Marianne Moss called Remains of the Day. And in that video, it showed how she used scraps and journal fodder to create a journal. So this is what I created during her class. I have started filling this out years ago. And it's all basically scraps and sewing and flips and flops and all that sort of thing. And hers are amazing. Mine are nothing compared to that woman. She does amazing things. And don't get me wrong, I love this journal, I do, but it was such a huge amount of work and it took forever to assemble it and put it all together. And I was sitting here flicking through it the other day and I'm like, God, I love this journal, and I love the idea of scraps, scraps that you would not really think twice about, and how they can come together and create something truly new and beautiful. And then I was thinking, how can I take this idea and run with it? So I thought I would start creating some patchwork tip-ins for my journals, to go into my sewing book, to go into my normal Midori, something a little bit different, something that I haven't seen anyone quite do before. Maybe they have and I'm just living under my little rock. I do say this a lot. I do live under a rock, and sometimes I think I'm making some sort of huge, amazing new discovery and someone's already done it and I just haven't seen it. So I'm going to create patchwork tip-ins with the same sort of premise as how this journal was put together, but on a much less stressful scale. And I want to create some little windows and things, so like tip in a way that there's like windows that you can see through to the next page, that sort of thing. So I wanted to take tip-ins to another level, so I thought that this would be a really cool idea, kind of jumping off my scrap monsters idea. Those scrap monsters have taken on a life of their own, and that sort of churned my brain around thinking, how else can we use our scraps? How else can we use our bits and pieces and turn them into, things that were forgotten into things that we cherish? So I think that is what we're going to do today. We are going to make some patchwork tip-ins. Now I'm going to see if I can salvage my sewing machine from out in the garage, hopefully. I know where it is, but I'm pretty sure I don't know where my pedal is. Yes, I do. So as you can see on some of these pages, elements are sewed on, and I really love that. I love the red sewing thread. I think it gives such a unique feel to them. This has all been sewed on. I do love that sewn aspect, and I want to incorporate that, as well as like glue and washi tape and all the normal things that we would have on hand. But I think sewing a few things onto the tip-ins will just make them that little bit different from everything else that's out there. So I am going to see if I can salvage my sewing machine from the garage, and I'm going to start collecting some bits and pieces and see what I can create for you guys. The process will be sped up, but I will put a voiceover in if I feel that there's information that you guys need to know, because constructing of these, if it's going to be anything like this, it's going to take me a while, and that would be a lot of filming time for you guys. So I will do my best to give you as much information as I can. It's very straightforward. It's kind of like chimp proof. And it's kind of like the scrap monsters. Once you see it done once, you can just take it and run with it, exactly like the scrap monsters. And that's what I want my videos to be, ideas that are like diving boards. You can jump off and dive into your own ideas, and it will make your brains churn. And that's the beauty of art. It's like throwing ideas around, and you can take an idea and run with it. I love that about it. So one thing that I do, you can take it and run with it and turn it into something completely your own. So that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you get inspired. So let's get going, and I'm going to go find my sewing machine and we're going to make some patchwork tip-ins. So I will see you very soon. Bye. So you're going to need a few little things for this activity. You're going to need some scissors, some glue, some double-sided glue tape, and a little bit of washi. Okay, a lot of washi. As you can see here, I have boxes and boxes of journal fodder, and I can assure you, you probably do too. So grab out bits and pieces from all shapes, colors, all types. If you think it'll work, grab it and put it to a side. Don't grab all of your fodder, it will become too overwhelming. So I like to pick out a few key elements that I want to work with and then go from there. In these boxes, I have a menagerie of items, from magazine clippings to scrapbooking paper, photographs, letters, postcards, you name it, it's in these boxes. That's why they're so full. So grab all your things and get them ready. So as you can see, I've got a random collection of bits and pieces that I found in my fodder boxes that I have underneath my desk. I've got a Hobonichi folder that I'm going to cut up. Yes, I know, sacrilege, but I don't use these. I love them and I want to use them. So I'm going to cut them down so I can turn these into, you know, clear parts of the tip-in or see-through, just something a little different. I also have these things from Daiso, which are like for photos, clear little pockets for photos. And I've also got a sheet of acetate, which is hard to see on film, but I have a sheet of acetate that I'm going to cut up as well. I have so much stuff around me that I could make tip-ins for days, but I'm going to try. I'm not going to go for any sort of size because I'm just going to sew things and tape things together, and then I'm going to cut them down with my guillotine, because I might make a huge page and then cut it down into smaller pages, smaller tip-ins that would fit my Giramondo, which is the Midori size, or I might cut them down and get them to fit my sewing book, that sort of thing. So I'm just going to sort of organically grow them until I'm happy with how they look as a whole, and then I will take the guillotine to them and cut them down, and then they'll morph into something different. So that's what I'm going to do. So I thought I'd just check in with you now that you've seen me sort of gather a whole heap of random crap on my table. And I will tape some, I will glue some, I will sew some, just basically whatever I feel like doing. Obviously I'll probably sew the big plastic things, but something like this brown paper, which I adore, is really thin, so I think it'll just tear up from my sewing machine. So I probably will like tear it up and glue sections of it onto things, and then probably sew another element over the top so it's got a bit more stability, that sort of thing. So that's where my head is thinking. I have fodder all over my table, so now I need to sort of start page building or tip-in building, and just sort of get creative and not think too much. It's kind of like the secure the scraps for the sewing book. Don't think too much about it, just let them happen organically and you'll be amazed if you don't think too much. You know, I would, you know, tape that and maybe sew on, you know, sew on a little cup or something, and you never know what things will happen. So I'm going to get creating, and hopefully I can show you guys some cool new way to think about tip-ins instead of just photos and project life cards and that sort of thing. This is a whole new way to sort of create tip-ins that is random and chaotic and beautiful. So enjoy the process, guys. Bye. One tip you can remember when making these patchwork tip-ins is it's going to be double-sided. So make sure you pay attention to both sides as you start constructing. I didn't, and you can see me scurrying as I'm trying to make the other side a little less plain because most of my photo was only one-sided. Just a little tip to remember. If you have elements that you really love in other books, put them through your photocopier, put them through your scanner and print them. There is no wrong in making new art out of old things that you love. I have a stack of old photographs from my honeymoon and I want to use them up some way. So I decided to put them through my scanner and make them black and white and turn them into collage fodder, so at least they're not lying around doing nothing. now it's time to put some of your tip-ins through the sewing machine. Do not fret, this is one of the best things and so much fun. I basically grabbed bits and pieces together that I wanted to pair and just sewed up and down. It's seriously like paper patchwork and you will have a blast, trust me. Make sure you're really careful because I tried to put two thick pieces together and my sewing machine was not happy with that. So just a little tip, be careful what you pair up just in case the sewing machine cannot handle it, and then you may be in trouble and you may rip your item. The beauty of patchwork tip-ins is there is no right way and no wrong way to go about this. You can construct them, put them together, sew them, glue them, tape them, whatever you have on hand. This is a very forgiving project, believe me, I know. Okay, so I've taken a whole heap of footage and I am praying that the sewing bits actually were in focus and everything. I haven't rechecked the filming yet, so we shall see. But I have currently made two and I will make more, believe me. I just wanted to give you the general gist of it so you could get going on your own. Now, this is the first one. Now, you got to also keep in mind that because they're a tip-in, you're going to see the other side. If you don't want to see the other side, then don't worry too much about it. But I started collaging bits and pieces on the back, and then I'm going to add some journaling around here to fill in these gaps, because a lot of my things that I chose were one-sided, which is a bit of a pain. But I'm going to use that to my advantage and do some journaling and that sort of thing. And I'm gonna cut these down, I think, because I'd like a couple to fit into my traveler's notebook, and obviously this is way too big. So you might see one of these in my traveler's notebook flip, which is coming soon. So I'm gonna cut these down for my traveler's notebook. And then the other one that I worked on off camera while my battery was charging, was this one, and that was using some of my collage sheets. I wanted to give you guys a way to use them that wasn't just a journal with me video. Even though I am going to film one of those, I wanted to film something else where you could use them in a different way. And I wanted to show you you can incorporate them together by using a pen and drawing on them. As you saw, I scanned some photographs and made them black and white, and this is a picture from my honeymoon in New York. So you can, the possibilities are so endless, guys. This is what I'm going to be constantly drumming into you. You can do literally anything when it comes to collage and creating and journaling. Anything is possible. So I've just copied my photographs, a whole stack of my photographs, and made them black and white. I'm just gonna grab the sheet so you can have a look. Okay, so you saw me also scan pages from my other remains of the day journal and use that. There is no reason why you can't take a previous journal insert, throw it on your printer and copy it, take it down to, take a pile of your notebooks down to Officeworks or Staples or whatever and just start printing out pages that you really like to cut up and use as journal fodder. I really liked this page in my other journal, my remains of the day one, so I thought, screw it, I'm just gonna scan it and I'll use bits and pieces of it. And that was the other part of there. And then you saw me throw a whole heap of my odds and ends photographs into the scanner, if the footage is fine. But that's what I did. I grabbed a few photographs that I thought would look cool, all ripped up, and I just made them black and white to sort of make it easier to seamlessly put them into the pages. So that's where the New York photo came from. It came from a photo I took on my honeymoon, and because I have so many leftover honeymoon pictures that I will be punching them out and sewing them in, just portions of them, just to use them up. And so on the back of this one, I did try to make a bit more effort with the back. So when I do chop this down, I'll probably chop it down around here so that my back is just as covered and stuff as my front. I used drawings, old business cards that are no longer, you know, useful because they have my old name, Courtney Brooke, instead of Courtney Diaz. A map of the subway that came in a Hobonichi thing, washi tape, old printouts, magazine clippings, scrap paper. And then you saw me cut her legs off because I just wanted to do something different. And then I added her legs into this part. So like I said before in the intro, you can do anything with your collage sheets. You can turn them inside out, upside down. They can look completely different once you've finished with them. They probably will not look like my work. They'll look like your own. So I hope you've enjoyed this sort of tip in on speed almost. I'm gonna go and take a guillotine to these. I'm thinking I might cut down here so her arm will get chopped off, but I wanted to keep the word art as art. Or I could obviously go this way. I'm going to make more, and I probably will turn the camera on, but it'll be for my creative week video. So you'll just see a few things. And this is the sort of thing that you can do sitting in front of the TV, which is what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm gonna take a little box of scraps and my glue stick and everything. I didn't sew everything down, but I did sew quite a few bits down. As you can see, my sewing machine was having a little bit of a tantrum because some of my bits of fodder were thicker than it wanted to go through. So just be mindful that you don't put thick on thick. So, because you'll have a little bit of a tandy. And I had bits that were sticking up that I wasn't comfortable with, or that the glue didn't do its job. So I just sewed them down to make sure that they were nice and sturdy, and make sure that they're not gonna fall apart on me. So this is a way to create really dynamic and interesting tip-ins for your journals. It's a way for you to create your own collage sheets, bits and pieces, and I'll probably go in here with pens and paint markers and all that sort of thing and add little bits and pieces, little doodling things. I will be scanning these and creating border strips for next month's next month's collage sheets. So you might see strips of like just along here. So you won't be able to tell where it came from, but it'll look really cool as a border. That's a way of reusing and reimagining your work as well. So you'll get some cool scrappy borders in next month's collage pack. I'm gonna make a heap more of these because it's really what's the word, therapeutic to just sit and patchwork them all together, and I like how they all look together, and you know, your eye goes everywhere. So I hope that this little quick tutorial on patchwork tip-ins is something that you will do yourself, and use your collage sheets to create all types of wonderful things. And I'm going to pack up my supplies for a little box of tip-in glory, and tonight when we watch some TV I'll be gluing and pasting and then sew some stuff in the morning. So I hope you enjoyed this video. You will see how I use these probably in a flip video or in the next sewing book video. They might be tipped in, you never know. But I will be cutting these down in size because obviously they're too big for any journal that I have currently. Not even, they're actually too big for the sewing book too. So they will get cut down. I just didn't want to faff about with my guillotine on camera. I did that for another video and it was a nightmare. So I'm just showing you what they look like now, but they will not stay this way, believe me. So I hope you enjoyed and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. I had a little bit of trouble getting the needle and thread through because I don't have my awl, which will make it a heap easier, but I persisted. So there was a lot of off-camera swearing as I tried to struggle getting my threads